This is the part 2 of my earlier video today on the insecurity situation in Nigeria. I'm making this video because of two videos that I watched recently, on TikTok and I think, on YouTube. First, it was from a guy called Trevor. That's his handle on TikTok. He recounted around 2014 or 2016, during that same period that the Chibok girls were kidnapped, right? How the insurgents cleverly distracted them with an operation. What was that operation? They ensured that they engaged them at the base camp in Borno at that time. While that fight was on, another group went to Chibok to kidnap those schoolgirls and took them away. But that is not what was really concerning to me. The guy revealed something very, very painful, which is that there was a young guy who was a community boy. I mean, somebody loved in the community, people related with him. And the boy now became very close to them. And because they felt he was a community, but they drew the guy closer. They sent him on errands. I mean, he was doing stuff for them and all of that. Unknown to them, this young man was a Boko Haram terrorist. Unknown to them, while he was doing all of this stuff for them, he was gathering information. The number of men in the camp, their armory, their strength, their positioning, all of that. And he said one day, the day that they kidnapped the Chibok girls, Boko Haram mobilized massively. In the base, they were just about 150, but on the day that the Boko Haram people came, they came with close to 500 men, heavily armed. So, well, they had to go into position, engage them. Thank God they were able to get air support and were able to dislodge them and they killed about 98 or 100 of them. But this is the interesting part, which is that this young man, once the war broke out, he climbed a tree with a rifle and was taking out the officers one after the other. He killed 11 officers that day. And that could only have happened because he gained access to the base, he familiarized himself with the people, the position, and he knew where to stay. It was very hurting for him because that singular incident was one grave mistake they made and they paid dearly for it. So, don't just trust people anyhow, especially when you don't have information about such a person. And then there was another video too I watched where the guy recounted how he was arrested, prosecuted, and then put in detention for almost a year. What was the problem? They were getting substandard equipment from the military authorities. And in one particular case, he said, until and unless he gets standard modern equipment, he's not going because they will face Boko Haram. Boko Haram will decimate them because they bring current modern sophisticated equipment. So you see, the real decision that we need to make to win this war of insurgency banditry, we've got to have the political will, adequate funding, and then boost the morale of security agencies. I'm happy President Bola Tinubu had just increased the salaries and wages of military personnel. We hope this will boost their morale. But if you have all the wages juicy as they may seem or as they may be, you don't have the right equipment to do the job that you're given to, I mean, to just be an exercise in futility.